Hello, and welcome to In Bed with Books, the podcast where we talk about smutty fantasy with each other and with you. My name is Melissa.
And I'm Bethany.
And where else can you find us, Bethany?
You can find us in a few places. On our website, inbedwithbookspod.com, and also on Instagram at inbedwithbookspod. We also have a Discord, which you can follow in the link in our bio.
And then if you go to the description box below, check out those links and you can find us anywhere else.
And what are we talking about today, Melissa?
Let's find out.
All right. Okay. We're like just finishing bites of food. It's fine. We're allowed to eat. Girls gotta eat.
I try not to eat nuts while we're recording because it's just 10 minutes of me
getting it out of your teeth and stuff. That's how I'm with chips. I don't really like chips or crack. Like I like chips and crackers, but only for like comfortable situations where I feel comfortable like sticking my fingers in my teeth, and getting it out. Because like I have one wisdom tooth that came in the back on just one side on the top. And stuff does get stuck back there that I can't access. So I have to.
Yeah.
So gross conversation over.
I don't have any of my wisdom teeth. All of mine were impacted.
Nice.
I mean, it was extremely painful, but.
Did you get it? Oh, you got them taken out?
Yeah, I got all 4 of them taken out at once.
Ouch.
I was on anesthetic. I was out, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, ouch. That just like doesn't sound good.
It was nice to be knocked out, I won't lie.
Yeah.
Okay, but I feel like we just talked and saw each other.
Oh yeah, when was that? Last
I think
night.
It was yesterday during our Twilight watch party.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, as someone who has not seen Twilight before, I just read the books
until last night.
Yeah, and discussed them, and then we got to watch I got to watch Twilight for the first time last night, and it was really fucking good. The book, like you said, like the music and like the aesthetic is like so.
Oh, it's I've never seen a movie do it that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
ahead.
Yeah. Daddy Charlie.
He's so good.
So he plays, that's so funny because he does play in the Netflix show Made. He plays a dad. And he's like literally the same character, maybe 10 years older.
Yeah. I think
he was about 10, 15 years older.
Yeah.
And it's like the same character. He's kind of distant. Like he wears flannel. Like it's like he likes to play the PNW dad.
Uh-huh. He does it very well. And I think the thing is like not to go like really like cinematic beauty on this, but like you can see the like depths that he has.
Mm-hmm.
Because he is like they joke about him and Bella being private. They don't really go out. They don't have a lot of friends. Like, but you can see how much he cares about Bella, and you can see how much he cares about Jacob's dad because they're such good friends, and about Jacob more so in the next one. Yeah, he's never mean. I think that's what he's his kind of like quiet fatherly vibes are never like scary. Even when he's got the gun, like that bit where he's like, well, bring him in so I can beat him. Yeah. It's not scary at all. Like it feels so, you're like, okay, Charlie, that's fine. Whatever. That's cute. But he's not an intimidating dad.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is nice.
And him and Bella are a lot alike in that way. Yeah. Because she's kind of the same way. And so they understand that about each other.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's nice for her, I think.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to shit on Renee, the mom.
Yeah.
But she really does just like call and ask about boys.
Yeah.
And like talks about her minor league baseball player husband who, like, I don't know. I think it just rubs me the wrong way that Bella had to leave because she got this new husband who has to travel for work.
Yeah.
Which just, yeah, doesn't sit with me well.
Yeah.
So.
Why can't he travel for work?
Yeah. Like, why do you have to do it together?
Yeah.
Why can't you just visit him occasionally?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I am team Charlie.
Yeah. Team Charlie.
Yeah. Team Dad.
Yeah. I mean, it was a great movie. Edward was great. Robert Pattinson was divine.
He's such a good Edward.
He is Edward.
Yeah.
Like, and Edward is he. I do think it was fun to kind of see Jacob. Like, that whole introduction was cool. Like, you meet him before Edward, you know, because like they knew each other and stuff, and like, yeah, they're friends with family friends and stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was good. It was definitely like one of those movies like I would like watch on a rainy day, like,
yeah,
or like watch and just kind of have on in the background because it's just like one of those.
It's an easy viewing.
Yeah. And you're like, ooh, it's this part, and then you stop and watch it.
One of the like some of the music that I cycle through when I'm working during the day is like typically it's movie soundtracks or movie scores, and Twilight is one of them.
Yeah.
So it's like Twilight or Lord of the Rings or Avengers or Narnia or something, but
yeah,
just the classics, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. The regs.
Yeah, just the regs. I did also see, quick tangent, that there is and I can share the playlist with you. On Spotify, there's a playlist of all of the Lord of the Rings ebooks read by chapter.
That's fun.
Yeah.
So you can almost like pick and choose a chapter if you wanted.
Yeah, exactly. Here, let me pull it up real quick.
Is it read? Have you listened to it at all?
No, because
like,
I'm like,
I've
got it saved because I'm just like scared of being too into it and like this, and it's because
and then
it's
having
48
to commit
hours. Yes, and then it's like that is perfect for me to close myself off from the rest of the world, not get anything done, and just listen to this book. And so I need to at least start it. Yeah, I'm thinking about, because I think I mentioned I've been doing like audiobooks while I work out. And so I think what I'm going to have to do is start it when I'm working out next, which should be the next day or so. But like, then I can just let it, like, set like a parameter for myself so that way I don't overdo it. The number of times, and this is how I know I'm getting old, because I used to just watch a show, like a Netflix show would come out, and I would just sit all day and watch it.
Yeah.
Watch all 10 episodes or all 8 episodes or all 13 episodes. And it'd be fine because I would just work 9 to 5 at the office, or I like, if I got some coffee or some espresso in me, like I'd be fine. And it would just like revive me. But now I'm like, if I stay up all day or all night and then I watch, or then I drink a lot of coffee, I'm out of sync for like a week. Like it's so bad. Yeah. And I don't know how much of it is age, how much of it is just chronically ill, and how much of it is both. So I have to like set guidelines for myself so I don't overdo things. And so this is one of them. But it does make me think what else like could be on there. But back to the Twilight conversation.
No, I am interested in, because I got my Lord of the Rings books out of storage.
Oh, yes.
And the DVDs. So I have the extended versions. We got my dad the extended edition DVDs of The Two Towers when that came out, because at the time when we were all into it. And then I got Return of the King for Christmas one year, but we never got Fellowship because so we don't have them. We just have the two. And of course I took dad's.
Well, yeah.
And Jamie has, my sister has the whole like books that they're these old ones from the 60s, pocket books, like collection of them. And I'm like, how did she get those? Because those were the ones that I read, like were those little pocketbooks. So I do need to find those, like buy some, find them at a thrift store or something, because they were really cool.
That's the version of The Hobbit that I have. Mm-hmm. I've got like...
Is it yellow? I think The Hobbit's yellow.
I think the one that I have is green.
Yeah, maybe.
I've got like so I've got 2 copies of The Hobbit. One is like a classic, like the greenish color. Or at least I remember that the title was green. Mm-hmm. But then I had like a picture. Mm-hmm. And then I've got like a Barnes & Noble special edition, which is like larger. It's not a pocketbook, but it has like a pretty cover. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that.
So it's forgiven for not being a pocketbook.
Yeah, I like that one. I don't think I have The Hobbit. That's kind of sad.
I like it. I mean, like,
I read that.
I like it better than Lord of the Rings, the book, in that it's just easy. If I wanted to pick it up and read it again, I could. Yeah. Whereas with Lord of the Rings, it's like, if you're doing that, it's an endeavor. Like I have to isolate specific boundaries for reading Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. So and I have the Barnes & Noble special editions or not special editions, just the Barnes & Noble like editions of the Lord of the Rings that I bought in high school. And they're pretty tattered because they've been in storage. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, I kind of like them better that way. They're a little yellow on the edges, like So, okay.
So final thoughts on Twilight the movie.
Final thoughts on Twilight movie. I mean, I liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was great. Okay, I'm really excited to hear about New Moon. Or hear about it. I'm really excited to watch it.
Yeah, we'll have to set up a time for that. Especially, also, for everybody listening, we loved doing the watch party on Discord.
It was super fun.
I did not realize I was going to enjoy doing that as much as I did.
Yeah, that was really fun. Like several times I was like laughing out loud.
Same.
I felt like Donna in Parks and Rec when they watch like that scary movie.
Yeah,
and she's like live tweeting.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Oh no, bitch, you can't," or something like that. Yeah, it was like,
and then the guy who comes up and he was like, those tweets were very not safe for work. You should tag those. And she was like, if you don't like it, don't follow it.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's fucking right. I was like, a couple of times I was like, oh no, what are we saying to each other in public? And I was like, you know what? This is like what
Discord is.
Yeah, this is what we wanted it to be, is to say the cringy shit that we can't say otherwise.
Yeah. No, it was super fun. There was at one point when we both made the same emoji, like within seconds. Because for the same moment. It was the moment in between the rocks, and he puts his arms over her. And then I was like,
she both leans into it too.
Yeah. And then we both did like the eyeball emoji, like literally within seconds. And then I was laughing so hard.
That is exactly what the watch party was made for.
Yes.
So we're going to be doing these. I think our original plan was once a month, but honestly, I watch enough movies that I might just have them in there regularly.
Yeah, that would be really fun, because the thing is I don't watch a lot of movies because it it requires like a lot of attention that I just can't find. It's different than shows, shows you just kind of have on. I don't know. It's hard to explain.
Yeah. Well, movies are an hour and a half to 2 hours.
Yeah. And it's it's something I feel like you do with people.
Yeah.
And so usually when Milo and I watch a movie, it's like at night and I fall asleep. So I liked this because it was like I was actively engaging with it. Yes. And that's what I really like about it. And so I would love to watch more movies. I do think we need to start a list.
Yes. Do you want to know I've seen movies alone. I used to go to restaurants alone. I'd see movies alone. This is just like Melissa was an only child and occupied herself, but is also now an adult and occupies herself.
Yeah.
So I love watching movies alone.
I did go and see The Favorite by myself in London.
I was going to say that was when we were in London. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I have to see this movie.
Yeah.
I have to. And it was so fucking good. And I think you said you hadn't seen it. So that would be a fun one to like watch together.
That would be.
Yeah. Cause it's really fucking good.
The first movie I saw alone, okay, I'm not going to name. Okay. So the first movie I saw alone was the remake of Karate Kid, or like Karate Kid 3, whatever it was, with Jaden Smith in high school. Because, and I will not name names because of the off chance that I accidentally out this girl. A friend in high school wanted to meet up with a guy she was seeing. Mm-hmm. And so we were supposed to go together. Mm-hmm. So I just saw the movie.
Yeah.
So, and she met up with her guy.
Yeah.
That was probably like the first act of rebellion I ever did. Right. And it would take several more years for me to do anything else. But
what's that movie? I did go see another movie in theaters by myself. It was what's that movie with Amy Poehler? And it's the Disney like animated
Inside Out.
Inside Out. I was gonna say Upside Down. I was like, that doesn't sound right. I saw that. Good? It was really good.
Okay. Yeah. That one I've been hesitant to watch because like I know it's gonna make me cry.
Oh yeah.
So okay, so we'll have to make a list. We'll have to do like Disney watch parties, period pieces watch parties.
Oh God, Disney.
I need to watch like Encanto with more people.
Yes. I've only seen it once and I was getting like my hair done, so I was kind of distracted, but
the opening scene made me sob.
Yeah.
Quick Melissa's history.
Yes.
My I want to say great grandma came to the United States after her husband died. Mm-hmm. And so like that opening scene, it was like that movie came out literally weeks after my uncle had told me like how our family came to the US. And so like watching this, like basically what happened was that my grandma was married in love. They had like 9 kids. Because Catholic. Yeah. And also like turn of the 20th century. Yeah. So like what is birth control anyway? And her options were basically remarry or be broke. And she was like, fuck that. I love my children. I love their father. I'm not going to, because like at that time when you remarried, the kids from the previous marriage were suddenly second fiddle because it was not the husband's kids, you know? And her brother was already in San Antonio at the time. And he was like, come out here, start a new life. And they did. Aww. So she on her own took her like brood. Yeah. Of which I am descended. Yeah. And so like I was watching that where she like loses her husband and she's all alone with her kids suddenly. Aww. And I was like, oh no, here it comes. And just sobbed.
Generational trauma.
Yeah. Unintentional. Yeah. So I was glad the first time I watched it alone, but I want to watch it with other people now. My mom won't watch it with me because my aunt watched it, her sister. And we were talking about it one day in front of her, and she was like, no. You tricked me into watching Coco. I'm not watching Encanto. Yeah. So I've scarred her.
It hits home.
Yeah, and not to be like soapboxy, but that's exactly why you have to make these kinds of movies. Yes, is because there has to be something for everyone to connect to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not everyone can connect with, the white story.
Yeah, like what is it? Rapunzel's a really good movie, but not everybody's a princess. One of my favorites also, and it has its problems, but one of my favorites is Princess and the Frog. Because
I have not seen that.
Oh, it's a good one. It's a really good one. Okay.
So Disney, we'll do a Disney series. It'll be great.
Yeah. Okay. But why are we here today?
We're here today.
So long.
Yes, because we want to talk about Gleam.
Yes.
The third in Plated Prisoner series by Raven Kennedy. This is the third installment of Auren's journey to self-empowerment.
Yeah, to herself.
Yeah.
This is by far the best book.
It is.
So far. Yeah.
It is. It did. Oh, that sounded like a thing. It did take about halfway for me to like really start being like, oh shit, like this is good. And it's not just because of the sex scenes, but
yeah.
I feel like the plot really, they did play a big role in like waking me up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I'm awake. I'm awake.
I'm with you. We're picking up. Yes.
We're doing this. Okay. Yep. I'm game. Let's go. And then the kind of the plot started picking up, and I felt like the climax was like the climax.
It was
great. Like the ending.
Yes. I will say, okay, because we've had, sorry, I've got like a hair stuck to my lip. So if I'm making weird faces, I promise that's why. Okay. We've had our qualms with like the way she can feel so weak sometimes, because it can be really difficult to read her like only so slowly processing and getting out of that space.
Yeah.
And I think even though she stuck to her guns more in this book, the first half was still her in that space. Like it was her, like she was stepping out of the door, or she was at least like looking out of the door. The door was fully open for her, but she wasn't ready to like, she hadn't taken the first step. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was like, she knows she doesn't want to go back into the room, and the room is where like Midas and her cage is.
Yeah.
Metaphorical room.
Yeah.
But taking that step forward, because I can get that. I can get like the moment she realizes and accepts that she no longer likes Midas is the moment she has to acknowledge that she has essentially, like, for lack of a better word, wasted the last 15 years of her life.
Yeah.
Unlike lies, on soft, pretty lies. And that is why, like, it's that little, it's not even little, but like that really sums up why people stay in abusive relationships. I don't think everyone's quite as, or I guess I can't speak to that, but I can't say how many people are as willfully ignorant. Like she firmly believes that she loves Midas and that he does good things and that he's a good person. But acknowledging that that's not the case, like it changes your entire worldview. And like that is why when like I love that meme that's like, I support women's rights, but more importantly I support their wrongs, because like it always in media, it's always coming after they've been abused, after they've been wronged aggressively. It's like you can't, like, yes, they're responsible for their actions, but you can't dictate how they decide to react once that worldview is shattered.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
yes, exactly. Yeah. No, I agree, because I felt like the first book felt like whatever, the first book. The second book had that kind of ending where she kind of literally breaks out of the cage.
Yes. Yes.
And I feel like some books, like for example, ACOTAR. Because everything comes back to ACOTAR. I think so. It's
I feel like I haven't heard you talk about it.
It's just easy because I feel like most people who listen to us have probably heard of it or at least read it.
Yeah.
But Feyre has kind of her like moment, and then she just becomes depressed for a couple months. And this is what happened. Like you have your kind of the tower, the tower tarot card.
Yes.
It just crumbles. And then you have a moment of like, yeah, my life's been wasted. Who am I anymore? You get kind of breaking down until you're built back up. And I don't think ACOTAR is the only book that kind of does that kind of trope. But this one just felt, because even in Blood and Ash, like it felt a little bit more like of a succinct growth.
Yeah.
Coming from it. This was kind of like it was like a record playing, a record playing, a record playing, a record playing, and then she like breaks the record player.
Yeah.
And then a different record plays.
I really like your comparison to the Tower card. So like the Tower card and the Death card tend to get really misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
They're viewed as really dark, and they're kind of related. And so I would argue that like ACOTAR and Blood and Ash deal with more of like a death card, whereas so like a death card is where something comes to an end naturally. The forces of nature have kind of like flowed easily, and it's like a nice transition. Death isn't necessarily difficult. It's just like, oh, like this one phase of my life ended, like when we transitioned from our masters back into normal life, or into normal life when we entered into our master. Like it was end of a specific period, beginning of a next period. The Tower card, however, is when something's been put off for so long and it's like ruptured. Yeah. You haven't let it actually follow the course of time that it needed to, or you haven't seen the truth of the matter. The Tower is like secrets revealed. It's like, it's incredibly. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, and it's very traumatic.
Yes, exactly. Like it's unexpected in that you thought you had control over the thing that you didn't want to happening. Yeah. But it's expected in that it has needed to happen for so long that it's forced itself out. Yeah. And that is quite literally what happens at the very, very end of the book.
Yeah. Yes. Of this book.
Yes.
Yeah. And so I feel like generally in fantasy arcs like this, it happens usually in the first book or during the second book. Mm-hmm. Not to comparing to ACOTAR, but like, it took 3 books to get to that point. And so we had to kind of sit with these records playing of like her kind of inner dialogue about like figuring things out. And so now I feel like this book really established her relationship with Rip, not only physically, but emotionally, and as a race as well, because they're both Fae. Mm-hmm. And then it also established her need for a network. Because, I mean, last book, we all saw her. She was alone. The Saddles wouldn't, like, care about her. Like, even the, what are they called? Wrath. Like, the group. Rip's group. Like,
she didn't have Digby back.
Yeah, she didn't have Digby. This one was kind of like the colliding of all of that. Where there is kind of a moment with Rissa where they have this kind of understanding, and they seem to be a little bit more than just like friends that have what is it called? Blackmailed each other.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
They became actual like, oh, like, no, like I'm doing this because I care about you, you know? And then getting like genuine connection with Rip on a sexual level, which was important for her, given her like background, and then as like a prostitute.
Yeah.
Not even a prostitute. She was a sex slave. And then with Digby, like that reuniting kind of with Digby, and also like becoming familiar with like Lou and Osric and Judd. Judd is his name. Mustard.
Yes.
So it just felt really exciting. Like she was like opening up to it. She was allowing herself to like have this network because she knew she needed it. Whereas in the last book, it was all around her, but she was like not ready to take it because she was like still like cleaved so much to like Midas. So it was really exciting to like finally see her. Like I remember last book we were like, she needs a friend. Like,
yes,
she needs a therapist. She needs a friend. Like,
yes,
yeah,
and she needs a good fuck. Like,
yes, yeah,
a real she one. Got all 3. So
yeah, so I felt like it was definitely a coming home book.
Yeah, and it really kind of drove the nail in on the fact that she has fully left Midas's like mind games. That she was allowing herself that space.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay, so Risa, real quick.
Yes.
Because we don't really know where she goes at the end of the book.
Yeah, she's kind of at least if in I'm not reliable always, but like if she did, I don't remember it. I don't think
same.
if we
it
learned
was a shit show at the end, like in the book, not the book itself. Like
yeah.
Gold is falling everywhere.
Yes. It was
people are
pretty
dying,
chaotic.
important people. Yeah. It is quite literally the tower is collapsing.
Yes.
I still like Risa, even though like Osric is very quickly to be like, we need to kill her. Mm-hmm. And the rest of the Wrath seem pretty supportive of that idea. But I think now on the other side of all of the bullshit, Auren's really, like, she's really conscious of the fact that Risa's kind of in a similar place that she was, in that she can't get something for nothing, or she can't just like be Auren's friend. Like, Auren has the ability to save her. Mm-hmm. And so, like, why shouldn't she?
Yeah.
And going back to like a consistent conversation that we've had on here, which is that like, when deprived of resources, humans are left to only a certain number of choices. Mm-hmm. And not all of them are great.
Yeah.
Because it's about survival. Whereas, like, or Auren's very literally offering her the resources that she needs to not have to struggle anymore. Mm-hmm. And so I do still trust Risa. I think it could go either way. It could go either way, honestly, because not everyone can heal properly.
Well, and I think Mist is a good example of that.
That's what I feel like Mist is far more like, she thinks she's getting the resources that she needs to not suffer anymore, but she's not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I kind of like if Risa does end up on the healing side of that, it will be kind of exciting to see. I kind of like then how that unfolds. Yeah. You know, that she is incredibly untrusting, and she doesn't like, you know, Auren or anything. Mm-hmm. And then just kind of this begrudging need for Auren, and then Auren's kind of need for that kind of connection to her past in that way. Because it does sound like she's kind of being now transported into a different like community altogether. That having that understands. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I still trust Risa.
Yes, same.
But I think the 4th book's out, right?
Yes, I think it is out. Glow.
Yes. Right?
Yeah.
So.
And I think there's going to be one more after that. I don't know. I thought I saw something that there was like going to be another one, and I was like, really? Because that's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of books, but I should look that up real quick.
Yeah, we've read 6 books before, so.
Yeah.
I like, so unrelated to all of this, I like that Melina is still like, she's
kind of terrible still. I kind of love that she's terrible.
And we just get to see her fall lower and lower in every chapter.
Yeah, exactly. I kind of like, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, like, the fact that she's still got that fortune teller with her, mm-hmm. I really can't help but think that he might be, I said it before, he comes up as a peddler and he pretends, and she insults him at first, and in Fairy Tale that fucking seals your fate.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited that like he's still engaged.
Yes.
With the story. And I feel like we keep saying this, especially like since book 2, which really, it has been that long, but like the fact that we keep getting her story and it still feels kind of disconnected to the point of Auren's story, tells me that there is some bigger role to play.
Which is kind of exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's something kind of relieving about that.
Yes. Yeah.
And I feel like the peddler like plays a role in that.
Oh God. Yeah.
Like he's someone's cousin or brother or something, maybe.
Or he's like from like the Fae land.
Yeah.
which I can't remember the name of right now. But also, I forgot. Never mind. Hold on. Something else to do with the peddler, or also with Melina. So okay, now that Midas is gone, I don't know. Would they? Okay. Do you remember Atlantis?
Yes.
The Disney movie?
Yeah.
Do you remember when, like, at the very, very end, when, like, they're trying to steal her and she's, like, possessed by the power, and the head villain, the, like, commander, cuts his arm and he kind of turns into that, like, ice zombie?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I'm wondering, because the gold in there was alive. They talk about how the gold is alive when the tower is falling, when the castle is falling. Because I don't know, it feels, I don't know if we would change villains that quickly just straight to Kaila, who, by the way, I fucking love.
Yeah.
But
real quick though, there was some foreshadowing that Rip had said about if we kill Midas, two more monsters creep up.
Okay.
So do you remember that? Because it was like, which is kind of a saying, but I think it's interesting that they said that, because there was tons of times where Rip was like, I will kill him if you want me to. And she was like, no. She kept saying no, because I don't want to make you the villain in this. And so when she ends up killing him, I'm wondering if that would like kind of make sense, if like that maybe wasn't the best.
Yes. Yeah.
Time or whatever.
I wonder if we are going to get the like Midas can gold touch things now.
Oh yeah.
Because this was like an entirely different way for her to change things to gold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we could be entirely wrong, and people have already like read book 4 and they're like, wow,
yeah, they're
so
like,
wrong.
wow.
Like, wow. Yeah. I mean, okay, another reasonable path to go down would be that it becomes a battle of queens, because Queen Kaila could claim that they're already married.
Right.
Because the betrothal was common knowledge.
Yeah.
And then Queen Melina could reveal herself as not being dead.
Yeah.
Because that's like the problem when you claim somebody is dead before you have evidence or before you have the head.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yeah, Queen Kaila is badass.
Yes, she is. I loved how matter-of-factly she was just like, well, I was going to deal with you too, but now that I hear you're planning to leave, or not planning, now that I hear that you're having your liaisons with the commander, that won't be an issue. Like, just straight up to her face tells her that she was going to kill her. The balls on that woman. I love it.
Yeah. Like, there was a moment when I was like, oh, maybe like she will be good, like good for Auren. Like, she'll just want to get her out of the picture. And I had a feeling that she was plotting with Midas to eventually kill him. But then I was like, she doesn't know that he isn't the gold touch. Yet. And so then it was going to be interesting if she like ended up killing Midas and then had to like go find the gold touch or something. And like, no, it would.
But now she knows that it's her. Now everyone knows it's her. Okay. Sorry, I'm rearranging myself on my goblin chair.
Yes.
I'm still in love with this chair.
Yeah.
Okay. So, at the end of the book, she's passed out because Rip Slade has knocked her out basically with his power. We have no proof she's actually going to wake up. Digby, her father, and I will take no comments on that from anybody.
Yeah.
Digby, her father, has come back seemingly from the dead to save his child. I don't know who the villain is now. I think that's part of like, and I don't think that's an entirely bad thing.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting.
Yes, because like we have no idea what's going to happen going into book 4.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know I just said that I trust Risa. Risa could very well go with Queen Kaila.
Yeah.
But that doesn't entirely mean that either of them are the villain. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of want to see what happens with that. I want Queen Kaila to be like, I kind of want her to like get with Risa.
I want her to be like a chaotic good character.
Yes.
Like we never really know where her allegiances lie, but she never entirely wants like the bad thing to happen, you know?
Yeah.
And I gotta respect a woman who knows to play the game or knows how to play the game as well as she does. Like Melina thinks she's playing the game. Melina is throwing fits left and right, and that is all she's doing. Yeah. Kaila is like kicking ass. Yeah. She plays the game better than Midas does. Because there's a moment when she's talking with Auren, and Auren is thinking, she's like, I think Midas just met his match. And he fucking did. Yeah. So I do, as much as I'm glad to see Midas dead, I do wish that we'd been able to see that a little bit more between them. Yeah. Like see them actually get married and him realizing that he fucked up hardcore. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Okay. No, I am interested to see if Midas is really dead.
Same.
They give me shivers.
Yeah. Well,
and go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, like, we had kind of talked about it earlier, just how much of a villain he became. Like, he was always kind of disgusting. But then when we are revealed the truth that he was the East Baron, and he was actually, like, the head of this, like, huge slave trade and, like, all of that stuff, like, you realize like how disgusting he was. And then also how there's that point at the end when he is, or when Auren's like, I always knew Midas, he doesn't have power. And I always knew that he was like, powerful, but I didn't realize just how powerful he had gotten like in the last like year or whatever, like since she was gone, because he didn't have her to just like give people gold to. And so he probably kind of had to rely on his politics. But so he like really became like he was always nasty, but it kind of like reached a different level where you were like, oh shit, like he could like, you know, because when Rip kind of enters the picture, you're like, oh, like Rip he's King Rot. Like no one can like touch him. Right. But then like, but then like Midas became like a sincere threat, like, which was kind of exciting because Midas was just kind of like, he's just kind of this like gross, like booby, you know. I don't know.
Before then, it felt like all of his power was from Auren. So like at the very beginning of the book, she holds we believe that she holds a lot more power. But he had power long before he met her. Yeah. He used her to get more, but he knew how to command a room. He knew how to like draw fear from people and use that to get them to do what he wanted. And so when he starts to lose control of her, I think that's why we see that part of him, because he doesn't have her to help him not be able to do that. Not to be all like, oh, he's only good because of her. Like, no. He like,
that was all he was showing.
Yeah, exactly. Like without her power, he has to have something else to hold his like grip on things. Yeah. And so she really just revealed like the true him. Yeah. And it does, whether or not our theory is true on him being alive still, it does seem rather fitting that he dies by her hand.
Yes. He needs to. Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I woke up around 50% and I love the sex scenes. I love that they just went into it. Like there's not, like we've kind of had a lot of emotional slow burn. And like there's like some like admiring
Yeah.
of the body. And, you know, he kind of saw her naked once, but it's been mostly emotional because she's just like not been ready.
Yeah.
But I like that, you know, it's not like she's not a virgin. So
Yeah.
then like, there's not like this, but she's never been like touched in this way. So it really starts off like intimate in that way, where she really does have to like, I mean, and like once she's really started to like trust him, then she was kind of able to experience sex in this like good way that was like centered around her, which is exciting for her.
And she also like, she does kind of point blank say she didn't know that sex could actually feel good.
Yeah.
Which is like tragic.
Yeah.
In so many ways.
Yeah.
So it's nice that we got to just jump into it and like the first, I think it's the first one, but it's in his point of view.
Yeah. Yes. Cause the chapter changed. And I was like
right when they were about to get started.
And then I heard a male voice because I was listening to it and I was like, yes. Because like I was like, I need to hear. I like it when they do that. I like hearing the men's side of it, you know. And I felt like that was perfect for that scene.
I kind of like that it was the actual sex. The first like sex between them was his point of view.
Yeah, yeah.
Because that's like we've been in her head so much about like her trauma, and she has the flashbacks and like how she doesn't want to be touched. And like, we know from the previous chapter that she is very much consenting to this.
Yes.
But also we get into his mind and we know that like, there's not an ill will at all. And I think we needed that to be like fully officially sure that it was good.
Given the circumstances, yes.
And given her past, like,
yes,
it can be very easy to get into like a character's head when they're acting or like when they've had these experiences. And so like, if you go in being a little bit more protective of Auren, you can be sure from his thoughts that he doesn't have any kind of want to control or to like domineer. He wants to dom her, like be dominant, but he doesn't want to own her. And he even says that. She's like, I don't think that's like, he asked something about like, because they're saying that they want to give all of themselves to each other.
Yes.
And so he asks something like adjacent to who owns you.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want anyone to own me, but I don't think that's what you mean. And he's like, no, it's not. And you know it's not because you're in his head.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's good.
Yeah, it is good. I liked that there was that understanding.
Very necessary for that.
Yes, because I do agree. It was like nice to from the beginning to hear that Auren was really into it, and then to hear Rip's side of like his true intentions.
Yeah,
but yeah, no, he's
very
vocal.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
This was the first. And I mean, I think you can like quote us on this, but who was it that said that Rip was a dad? I believe that was like a daddy, like a true daddy. Before he was even like we knew he was like Faye, I think. We were like, oh yeah, Rip's daddy. Like that. Exactly. Like, and I was just kind of like, okay, it's going to be kind of, you know, it's definitely going to be fun, but I wasn't expecting like, oh, okay, no, really, like he is like, I haven't heard this kind of like relationship before, which I kind of
exchange.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But just like his dirty fucking mouth. I was like, I was Auren. I was like, because even, I mean, not that I'm like, as like, I don't have like her same past or anything, but like she was even like surprised at like what he was saying. And she's like, had like a lot of partners, but it was just,
he had this
it's a different kind of intimacy. And
this one line where he talked about like, okay, fast forward like 30 seconds real quick if you don't want to hear the line, but he talked about like milking his cock.
Yes.
And I was like, that's the point when I was like, Like the other stuff, I was like, oh, that's all pretty, like it's pretty tame. He's just like talking dirty. He's like talking about how he wants her and stuff. And then he said that line, and I was like, holy fuck. Like,
yeah, no, he's not fucking around.
No, he is not at all.
He means exactly what he says.
Yes.
And like, I think context is important.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like that terminology, milking.
I don't. I will be honest.
I generally don't, but it was okay here. You know, I felt like it was. For me,
too much.
It wasn't too much for me, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not something I'm like, oh, I love it when they say that kind of thing. So yeah.
I do think it really just drove home the fact that he is being extremely raunchy.
Yes.
And then I do kind of want to go back to her past real quick in relation to this whole scene. So like, I will be honest, I was kind of worried about how their first sex scene was going to go because of the way that sex has been portrayed in the book previously, in the series previously, I should say, like from literally the first chapter of the first book.
Yeah.
But the way that she shows consent and the way that we get confirmation from his internal dialogue about his own, like you said, his own true intentions.
Yeah.
I think really makes up for some of that like grossness.
Yeah.
Because she doesn't shy back from it. Like we've said before, like massive trigger warning on this series.
Yeah,
but
absolutely.
I think this is the first book where the pendulum starts to shift more towards a positivity and a healthier relationship with sex. And that directly relates to the fact that Auren is healing.
Yes.
So.
Yeah, because you have to be ready for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she felt safe with Rib. What else did he do? There was that
he was eating her out at the camp.
Oh my God. What did he say? He said like something about her smell or her taste, and I just lost my shit.
He didn't want her to bathe. He was trying to he was trying to like stall her so she couldn't bathe before the sun came up. Yeah.
He's a nasty boy.
And he was like, I guess it's just the dirty fae in me. And I was like, boy, you better shut up.
Well, I like too that he's, because he could tell that he could smell himself on her.
Yes. And he wanted to make sure that he could continue to do that and smell her on him.
Even though he's the only one that really can.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good.
That
was good eating out because she'd never been eaten out before.
That's tragic. But also straight men, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Knowing Midas, that makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, I had to, like I told you, I texted you and I was in the Costco bath.
You're like, I was like, breathe.
I was like, I'm not like rubbing one out or anything. Yeah. I'm just like, I needed to take a break.
Yeah.
Because I'd just been like in the car listening to it and I was like, oh God.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't have done it. I would have just
listened to it in public.
A nice long shower. I need a nice cold and long shower.
Yeah.
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 Okay. Also, just throwback to book 1. I fucking knew Digby wasn't dead.
Yeah.
I refuse to believe it.
You said it.
I refuse to believe he was dead. We didn't see a body. He wasn't dead.
Yep.
And it feels like retribution, like we're getting Victor back in the next A Light in the Flame.
It was so sad though, because he was like when she entered the cell, and I can't remember, I think it was like she became conscious. Or no, it was oh God, it was the horrible scene where her ribbons were cut off.
Yeah.
And then she was later put in the cell. And she saw Digby and he was just all like bruised and like raspy voiced and like just like completely beaten to a pulp. And you were just like, your heart just broke because you weren't sure, because that was kind of like the major thing was like, you weren't sure if he actually did have Digby or if this was all just like, so it almost kind of felt sweet in the sense that she was working hard to turn things gold because for Digby.
Yeah.
So even though she didn't really know, and even though he got beaten anyways,
yeah,
she still knew that she did everything he could. And I actually like loved her a bit more for that.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but then there was like the time when they were like, handling her to like put dew leaves in her, mouth, and like they put them in her mouth and they like held her nose. Like it was really violent so that she had to swallow it. And she said, and my body betrayed me and swallowed it. And it was just like really terrible. And then Digby was just sitting there like helpless and like trying. And it was just like so sad. Like,
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Them force feeding her reminded me of like early 20th century suffragists went on like food strikes, on like hunger strikes, and then they'd be arrested and like force fed food. Like they would put tubes down their throats and then like put food just directly into them. Remind me of that. But yeah, Digby's alive, and that's all that matters.
Fucking alive.
It feels like the start of like the dad revolution for me, like the book Dad Revolution.
Yeah. And he's in the company of Wrath, which is good.
Yes, and he doesn't fear Wrath. Like the epilogue when he's like, "You better fix her, boy." And even Slade is like, "No one's called me boy ever
before." And I love that. I love that because he's like, he's just gonna be his dad too.
Yeah. And he like Slade's gonna have to earn Digby's respect.
Yeah. That's gonna be so fucking hella cute. I'm here for it. Okay, I'm excited for the next one.
Same.
So the next one is Glow. Okay. And then there is a new one, and it's Gold. Finally.
Yes, that's right. I remember her announcing that, and she was like, "This is gonna be the last one."
Yes, and so I don't think it comes out yet, but let me see when it.
I think it's next year.
June 2023.
Fuck yeah.
So that'll be the conclusion of of Auren and Rip, but yeah.
And I was just thinking, timeline wise, we can probably do that one as a new release.
Yeah, that would probably work out because we'll do the next one during our winter season, and then
this is the winter season. We'll do the next one during the spring season.
Okay, yeah, and then it'll be like the summer.
Yeah, and then the summer season. Yeah.
We can like start with that one. Yeah. Cool. Very cool. All right. Any last thoughts?
Last thoughts. I like that it's being alluded to that the rest of the Wrath have powers. Because it does sometimes, the way it's been written so far, it makes it seem like actually only royals happen to have powers. But in fact, others tend to have smaller powers. And so it just happens to be like, of the royal family, whoever has powers can take like the throne, but not that only royal family members have powers. Because we've already found Luz.
What was Luz again?
It was that she can like redirect people's attention, so she can sneak around. But she didn't detect Kaila.
Oh,
because it was when Lou was returning Auren to the castle after their like night at the camp and everything, when Kaila kind of surprised them, and that's when Auren realized that Kaila had definitely heard her say like, better than spending time with that gold prick, much better, like that shit. So somehow she evaded Luz, which it might have just been the fact that, so Lou said that she can detect when people, or she can feel when people are paying attention to her, and she redirects it. But if none of the guards were actually paying attention to her, and Kaila just pulled the words towards her, because that's her power, then Lou wouldn't have been able to detect it. So that makes
Right.
sense, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we need Lou to be loyal.
Yeah. I don't think she isn't.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if
you were like ooh, and then you kind of have to explore those possibilities.
Yeah, no, exactly. And so like it's either that it was just the convenience of how Kaila's power was working then, or because Kaila also said that she can, in a similar way to Lou, she can make sure that words that are around her don't reach others. And so I wonder if somehow that obstructed Lou's ability.
Right.
Yeah. So there's something that Kaila can do, because I don't doubt Lou's loyalty, but something Kaila can do.
Yeah.
We're adjacent to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess final thoughts. I want to see what the rest of the Wrath's powers are.
Yes.
And I low-key stan an evil queen. So
yeah. Kaila, not Melina.
Yeah.
Melina's just a brat.
Yeah, she is. Never grew up.
Yeah. Last thoughts. Really excited that we just kind of didn't have the runaround with sex with Rip and Auren. Like, I think it has been, like I said, enough of an emotional slow burn that I was just happy that we were just able to like go balls deep, like right off the bat.
Yeah.
And I am kind of, I still feel like there's still more, that we can see.
Yeah.
Because Auren hasn't like experienced like a good relationship. And so it would
maybe
be
we'll get anal.
Yeah.
Or pegging.
Oh God. Yeah. I don't see that not like being in the sphere, of like what this series can accomplish. Like if we can see like the dark side, let's see like the fun, dirty side. I want to see how filthy we can get.
Yes.
Because we all know Rip is dirty motherfucker.
He is a dirty boy.
He is. Oh, I'm so glad we have a dirty boy.
Yes.
We needed one.
I love the sensual and the like body worshippers, but occasionally it's nice to read somebody who's a little raunchy.
Yeah. And he definitely worships.
Oh, But I mean, like sometimes it's like worshiping like a really like sensual, like I'm thinking like Castile and Poppy.
I was also thinking that. I think Rip, you could definitely see some like healthy like degradation from Rip.
Yeah.
Which Castile, not so much.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Castile is like, he's like praise kink all the way.
Yeah. So.
All right.
Okay. So what are we reading next week? I think next week we're talking about the death scenes. No,
that was last week.
Yeah. Yes, it was.
I'm pulling up the calendar right now.
I think A Light in the Flame is next.
Oh, shit. It is. Because it comes out in 2 days, dude. 2 days.
2 days. Dude, my sister she's obsessed with it. I'm so excited. I'm like, ooh, I really want to talk to her about it on Thanksgiving. So she like messaged me and she took a screenshot of like our episode on Spotify and like sent it to me and said, I have listened to From Blood and Ash series. And Shadow in the Ember.
Yes.
Like she reads fast when she really wants to read. She reads fast. And she's like, while I'm waiting for the next one in Shadow of the Ember, I'm rereading From Blood and Ash. And I think she's already through like War of Two Queens.
Oh my God.
Well, okay. So she, her weed shop is in Port Townsend, which is like next to Port Angeles. It's like across the water.
Oh my God.
It's like a 4-hour drive for her. So she's driving.
She's living Twilight. Okay. Sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So she's driving a lot and probably listening to it. So that would make sense. So I'm excited for her. I'm excited to get Light in the Flame. Confirmation that my mailbox does work.
Good.
Good. So I got a ticket in the mail. So
I was like, ticket for
I ran a yellow light. Okay. It was not red. I do it all the time. And this just happened to be in a really bougie area that has like cameras. And I'm like, what the hell? I do this all the time. Like, it's raining.
I like how you get a ticket for it and you're like, what's wrong? I do this all the time.
It's not okay because if it's raining, you don't slam on your brakes.
Yeah,
during
no,
a
that's
yellow
actually
light.
very unsafe.
Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, I can make a decision. Like, I'm just going to go. And then it turned red when I hit the intersection, which is still fine.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you're in the intersection when it's red, are you going to stop in the intersection?
Yeah. What am I going to do?
I should know. I don't have a license.
Yeah.
So.
No, but
and it wasn't
like,
because I was a bad driver. It's because I have a fear of driving. So
yes.
my words mean nothing here, but I will happily support you.
You will be my passenger seat driver.
Yeah, I'm a passenger princess. So.
But also it's like, Milo was looking at it at the ticket thing, and he's like, so it's actually just an infraction, like a parking ticket, which means it's not even about safety. It's about money. Yep. It's like, of course it is. Because it's Redmond. It's like Bellevue. It's like
that's how they get half their money.
The boot. It's like that's where Amazon lives. Like where the people who work at Amazon live.
You can honestly fight those tickets, which is like bureaucratic incompetence right back at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
I am gonna do the ebook again because I'm still like my plan is still to like wait for a series to finish and then get the box set.
Oh yeah, I fully support that.
Yeah,
and I'm excited for that unboxing video.
Yes, that'll be it'll be me sobbing because it's so expensive, but also because it's so exciting. But I also I just want the covers to all be the same. I want to make sure that the size of the book is all the same. Because I've had it happen too many times where I buy the books early. Yes. And then I fall in love with the series. I buy the latest book, and the latest book is for some reason different parameters or different measurements to the last one, and it doesn't fit. And I'm not going to risk that. I refuse.
Yeah. Lame. Yeah. It's okay, real quick. I was going to send it to you, but I was like, I don't know, balls deep in some kind of Instagram thing. But there was a Sarah J. Maas is releasing new covers to Throne of Glass. And they're so cool. That. Yes. And I want them. And I'm like, so I really want to figure out how we can implement Throne of Glass in the podcast / book club. Because I think it would be a really fun, because it's very much more YA-ish, but also sexy.
I like YA. Fun. You know that.
Yeah, exactly. So, and I want to finish it.
Yeah.
And I want those books. Maybe I'll get the box set.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, okay. Yeah. So next
always
week,
excited about fun covers.
I don't think we've said what we're reading next week.
Yeah. No, we did. A Light in the Flame.
Oh, duh. Okay. So Light in the Flame. Yes. So yeah, we're going to be doing A Light in the Flame. And that's going to be fun. I'm already crying about it.
I'm already hyperventilating.
Yes.
So excited.
But also currently in the book club. Yeah.
I just started thinking about Niktas. Go ahead.
We are reading books that are retellings of Greek myths.
Yes.
So the next book club meeting is going to be, what's this month? We're in November. Okay. Next month is December. The next book club meeting is going to be December 10th.
Yes.
So if you'd like to get on that, hop into the Discord where we have all of the details on what books we're reading and which books are upcoming.
And when we meet exactly and all that stuff.
Yeah, when we meet exactly. We tend to do it an all-day thing, and then you and I just dedicate a specific hour where we know we're available.
Yeah. We'll be chatting and stuff.
Yeah, but otherwise, so some of the books that we're reading, at this moment, we haven't had when we're recording this, we haven't had the next book club yet, so we haven't decided which one to read next.
Yeah, we're currently reading The Son of Achilles, which we're going to meet next week.
Song of
Achilles. What did I say?
Son.
Oh my.
That'd be a fun sequel, but
yeah. So, and I've already started it and I'm loving it. And then I think the next one we're kind of deciding between, it's going to be probably Circe, Ariadne, or
1,000 Ships.
1,000 Ships. So we're going to kind of feel the Discord and see which one we want to do next. So if you want to join us for one of those, head to the link in our bio to our Discord, and Melissa keeps us updated on all of the details.
I try.
You do.
And then that's also where we do our watch parties, which are going to happen far more often now.
Yes,
because
that's so much fun.
Easy. It was so easy. Okay.
It was so easy.
Okay.
I love that. Okay.
Well.
All right. Well, until next week. Happy reading.
Happy reading.
Bye.
Bye.